Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Right before I go snowboarding, I've decided that I wanted to go ahead and cast one more set of games for you guys because I was looking through my MLG replay pack and I found this set. And we have arguably the best player in the world right now in IM's MVP. And at the time, of course, he was competing for MLG, so he was still with Quantic, as Quantic and IM were still together. Of course, now they are separated, but this is arguably the best player in the world right now. Three-time Code SGSL champion, Quantic IM's MVP. He's the red Terran at the top left-hand corner, and this is a best of 3 from MLG against Team Liquid's own Hero, who used to be with OGS, as you guys recall. And this is going to be a Terran versus Protoss. One of the reasons why I actually wanted to cast this is because a lot of people have been saying HD should cast more Terran and Protoss. So for all you Terran and Protoss guys out there, yes, of course, I want to go ahead and get as many games as possible out with you know, all the races. So here we are. This is going to be a best of 3, like I said, from MLG. I think this will be the last set of games I do that were from MLG Providence, and from here on out we'll be moving on to more fresher and new content. But I really didn't want to miss out on this set because, I mean, it's MVP and Hero. I mean, this is going to be a great set of games. And let's go ahead and pull up their racial statistics for a second here. IM.MVP, actually his worst matchup is against Protoss, interestingly enough. Now, that's not saying that that's like a bad matchup for him. Well, I guess it sort of is, but in general, MVP is so good, most of his win rates are around 70 or 65% anyways. So his win rate is already astronomically high. But let's just for reference say, his Protoss win rate in SC2's international scene, or excuse me, SC2 Korea scene, is 63.64%. So it's his worst matchup, but it's still pretty freaking good. And he's won the last 5 engagements he's had against Protoss in a row. So he is just tearing it up against Protoss lately. Liquid Hero actually has his worst matchup as Terran, and it's at 58%. But most of his other matchups, especially Protoss versus Protoss, is at 70%. So both these guys obviously have extremely high win rates, but when all is said and done, both of them are playing against their weakest matchup. So this should put for a pretty interesting game, and we'll see how things play out from here. It looks like Hero did go with a 1-gate expand here, or wait, was that a Nexus first? It was a Nexus first. So Hero going up for the Nexus first in this game, pretty bold opening, especially against MVP. MVP will go aggressive against you when the time is called for it, but it looks like MVP also going to go for a 1-Rax, excuse me, he's going to go for the 1-Rax expand here after Hero went for the Nexus first. So his is a little less bold, but he does have some Marines and some SCVs here. Looks like he's going to go for a bunker contain here. Same thing that we saw MMA do against Lenok. We'll have to see if this is going to work or not, but no, 1 SCV goes down, and that was really crucial. You need 3 SCVs in order to build 3 bunkers, and with the 1 SCV going down, you're not going to be able to do it, and I'm surprised MVP's leaving his SCVs here. He ends up killing one of the probes. He kills off 2 probes with 2 more Marines, and now it looks like he's killed off a total of 3 workers this game. Can he get another probe kill? Yes, he gets 2 more probe kills. He kills a total of 5 workers right there with just a very well-timed aggression of a handful of Marines and 3 SCVs. And yeah, he did lose some of his workers, but he killed more workers than his opponent did, and that justifies the cost of him going for the later command center. So really well-timed aggression right there from the Terran player, and that's not something you see very often in Terran versus Protoss. Typically, you know, in TVP, you're going to see both players build up. They're going to push out around the 8 or 9 minute mark, and then you're going to see armies start to collide. But MVP just taking it to the house right now, and now after attacking and killing off a couple probes, he comes out his front door like, what you want? You want to come up in my natural? I already got Marines ready and waiting. So the Zealot gets shut down, but it looks like Liquid Hero is not going to be denied. He brings up a secondary Zealot here, so he really wants to keep up on the pressure, wants to return the favor as much as he can. And can he get by the bunker? I don't think so. The bunker is now up and running, and yes, you will get shut down. So Hero gets pushed back. He may actually lose a Zealot. No, he will not, as the Zealot will walk away just in time, and it looks like MVP will want to hold down the front door for now. And what's this SCV doing? Is he trying to go for like a ninja? I think it might just be a scouting SCV, guys. For a second there, I thought maybe he's going to go try to hide something. But no, I think it's a scouting SCV. He's going to try to get the delayed scout in. Liquid Hero right now adding on additional gateways. But he has kind of a Stalker at the front door, and the Zealots are falling back. The Stalker, the reason why you want to leave the Stalker is because it can run away faster than a Zealot can, obviously. But it is a little bit more vulnerable to something like a concussive shell from a Marauder, and it's a little bit more costly than losing a Zealot. So Hero's going to want to be careful with that. It looks like the SCV makes its way in. Wow, I'm surprised Hero didn't expend a force field there to keep the SCV from coming in. But I suppose there's nothing too crazy to reveal here. 3 gateways coming up, but still I think it would have been worth the force field to kill off that SCV before it got inside the main, just to keep MVP in a state of constant doubt. And what do we have? A Twilight Council coming up. He tucks the Twilight Council inside the natural, so the SCV did not see that, I don't believe. And no, it did not. So Hero, could he be going for Dark Templars here? Or is he going for Blink Stalkers? Now, he's got 3 Warp Gates already ready to go. He's adding on the 4th Assimilator right now. So it really could be either Blink Stalkers or it could be Dark Templar. But judging on the fact that he's not warping in any Stalkers right now, I really think he's going to go for DTs extremely quickly. Let's see if he builds a Dark Shrine or not. Yes, he is going for a Dark Shrine. And it is tucked away in the top right-hand corner, pretty much secure from any kind of a comsat, and he adds on a 4th and 5th gate as well. So this is going to be a 5-gate aggression with Dark Templars, but the front wall is totally walled in. You don't see this very often, but the natural is walled in with 2 bunkers and supply depots right now. Usually Terran players are going to build the bunkers a little bit further back, but on this map I guess you can wall in. So the DTs will have to hack and slash their way through to get inside the main, unless Hero decides, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and circumvent the ground and go for an observer, which it looks like he's adding on a robotics facility. So now if he can get an observer and a pylon on the low ground, or even a warp prism, he could actually circumvent the wall and get right up in the main. And look at this, MVP is all over it. He gets a missile turret up, anticipating the Dark Templar play, but is it enough? He's got to get a missile turret inside the main, or he could be in trouble. Let's see what that robotics facility is going to make. An observer or a warp prism? It is a warp prism, so he's just going to shuttle it straight into the warp prism. And almost like a Bisu style build with Dark Templar and Shuttle from the old days of Brood War. We're going to see a Dark Templar Warp Prism mechanic here from Hero, and we'll have to see if this is going to work out or not. This is very risky play, almost all in from Hero. He's investing so much into this little gimmick right here, and if it doesn't work against MVP, well, MVP is just going to pretty much enrage like the Hulk and shut down Hero if he can stop the Dark Templars. He's just going to run away with this game. But here we go. The Warp Prism is beginning to shuttle, what is this, 3 DTs? Actually, the portrait obviously being different, because Blizzard couldn't decide if they wanted a Dark Templar with 2 blades or 1 blade, so they decided to incorporate each one. But here we go. Hero's going to make his way in. There are 3 orbitals, though. Does any orbital have enough energy for a comsat? No, it does not. All the mules were dropped, so the DCTs could actually go to town here. 1 DT being sent over into the Marauders, and Marines actually going to make its way into the National, but there's already a missile turret there. And oh, there's 1 DT going on that missile turret. Will it be able to get the missile turret down? Yes, it will. It slices that missile turret in half, but there's another missile turret going over to the right. That missile turret, if it goes up, it will shut down the Dark Templar harass. Meanwhile, worker kills starting to go up to 8 here. The DT at the Natural was shut down. Right now, Hero has got to kill off this missile turret. He is unable to do so. The missile turret goes up at the right, and it looks like another turret, a half a turret, I guess, going up, and that will finish up. So I think that MVP will be able to hold this off. It looks like that final last Dark Templar over to the left did go down to a comsat, and there is actually 1 more left inside the main, and it will go down. But surprisingly, Hero's actually ahead in supply right now. You know, I felt like IM.MVP held off the Dark Templar play considerably well, but it looks like somehow he's fallen behind in supply right now. Hero right now starting to add on more gateways. Actually, no, that is actually just 1 gateway and a Templar Archives, and is expanding out of this. And even though he really went for a big effort into going into the Warp Prism and going into the Dark Templar Rush, and it didn't kill off nearly as many SCVs as I thought it would, he's still actually in a pretty good spot. You'd think Hero would be a little bit further behind, but he's been able to macro pretty heavily, and I guess MVP kind of slacking just a little bit, having to scramble to get his forces in position to deal with the DTs. So things have kind of leveled off a little bit in the playing field right now. We have a Ghost Academy up for MVP. Ghost, of course, really, really good against Protoss because of the ability to drain all the shields and energy of the Protoss player. Ghosts are starting to come out 2 at a time for MVP, who has now salvaged his 2 front bunkers at the top, and he's actually dropping someone at the low ground. He will be able to pick off the pylon over at the top. And this is really nice from MVP to just harass Hero wherever possible. Actually, it was distracting Hero's forces with the factory for a second there, and ends up killing off a pylon. as a result. So a small victory right there for MVP, but his forces could get intercepted here. Not good for MVP. He's got to get inside those medevacs right now, but it looks like he is going to lose a lot of his units here. He gets force fielded inside. Can he save with the medevacs? He will pick off some of those marauders, and if he gets the save here, this will be Operation Rescue Marauder's success. He does get the save as his reinforcements come to save their brother-in-arms. MVP here now going to drop off the marauders, it looks like, into the midst of the battle. No, he saves 2 marauders inside, and a bunch of force fields going down to keep the marauders away. So Hero with the quickness on the retreat, but it looks like he loses some of his forces while he was falling back. Just scrambling to get the force fields down to keep the marauders and marines away from taking out his army. And Hero is able to fall back into his natural, but gives up a significant chunk of map control back over to his opponent, MVP, who now secures the pocket expansion. And it looks like Hero is going to try to rush into Storm rather than going for Colossus. Obviously, he had 2 different choices because he already had the Citadel and the robotics facility down, but he decides to go for Storm here, as Storm just now finishing up, it looks like. No, he cancels the Storm up. Nope, he did finish up Storm. Okay, so that Templar just didn't have enough energy, and he gets a huge Storm off, whittling down the Marines and Marauders, but there are 4 medevacs in the air, so that will heal up decently quickly. And MVP with his significant map control looking to threaten the bottom right expansion, and Hero trying to come out to save it, but immediately gets pushed right back into the hole again. He needs to Storm right now. Does he have any Templar? No, he made an Archon instead, and it looks like MVP is just going to roll right on through after the failed Dark Templar play. Archon's coming out, but it is not going to be enough. Where are the Templar? Hero doesn't have anything to deal with this, and there's a Templar coming from the 3rd. He gets a beautiful Storm off. He may have just done barely enough to whittle this down. He needs to warp in reinforcements right now. A couple of Zealots, times out Zealots, could actually crush this army, and an Archon coming here. Archon's trying to zap the Ghost, and Pro's being pulled off the line to fight. I don't know if it's gonna be enough. Now sniper fire going down from that Ghost, who was just standing there for so long, taking those shots from the Archon, and it looks like MVP with 2 last Marauders finally gets cleaned up by Hero. Hero just barely surviving right there, and unbelievably, even though he's lost 30 probes this game, and most of them coming from the natural, he's only behind his opponent by about 15. So is actually still in this game if he can hold on to the 3rd right now, trying to warp in some more Templar. The Templar, of course, do not have Storm right away, uses a feedback on a medevac, unable to kill it, and it looks like MVP coming in here with a big stim, picks off the Zealot, picks off several probes. Probes are going to run away right now, and the Nexus is going to probably go down. Meanwhile, a couple of forces, wrong rally point from MVP, running into an Archon and an Immortal, going to go down. The Nexus, though, will fall, and MVP can take big pride and happiness in that. Now, he may get cornered in. No, he has medevacs. He should be able to get out of here pretty easily. In fact, he can ferry right over to the natural if he wanted to. And Hero in all sorts of trouble right now. That factory still floating around, taunting Hero, so to say, and not much that Hero can do now. He is down at 32 workers. He's got to figure something out. Maybe go for some type all in, warp in more DTs, gosh, hope for a lucky Storm. I'm not too sure what he can do. There's, of course, 3 medevacs floating in the back of his natural, and I know Protoss players hate the idea of medevacs that are fully loaded just waiting in the back, because they can't be fully aggressive when they've got to worry about a potential drop. So you guys can see Hero leaving some of his units back behind the mineral line right now, and things are not boding well right now. The 3-time Code SGSL champion, though, gets stormed at his natural, at his pocket expansion by a big Templar storm, but only killing off 3 workers there, so not really as good as you'd think it would be. Hero trying to get some damage in wherever possible, trying to get cute, but it's just not, the chips are not falling the way they should for Liquid Hero. IM.MVP right now, totally in an utter state of dominance, and is about to finish +3 for his Marines and Marauders armor. He's already got 3 weapons, and the Protoss army is only at 2-2. In fact, 3-3 isn't even being researched for this Protoss army, so upgrades by sheer weight of technology and even forces just going to outnumber Hero here. And a Storm goes down, totally whiffs the Storm. That was not good, and Storm does not come cheap. He has a couple more Storms saved up in the bank. He's going to have to land Miracle Storms here. Meanwhile, a drop going on behind the natural. That is not good. Will he get the Storm off? Will he get the Storm? No, he morphs into a Templar instead. Gets a Storm on the edge of the ball, but doesn't really hit the ball. And Hero forced to shoot out the Korean well-won GG. So there it is, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this game, and there will be at least one more game in this series. This is a best of 3 from MLG. I think this will be the final set I do from MLG. What a great game between the world's best player and one of the best Koreans living in or playing for a foreign team in Team Liquid. So hope you guys enjoyed that. This is HD signing out. Till game 2.